thought of a warm golden tan? Being tan makes me think of summer. Vacations, hanging out with your friends, and of course laying out by the pool, right? Well, what are you going to do in the winter when it's too gosh darn cold to lay out? Well, some people go indoor tanning. So what if I told you that going indoor tanning can cause serious health risks and even death? Would you go tanning in a bed that emits harsh rays of ultraviolet radiation? Now you might be asking, what is ultraviolet radiation? Ultraviolet radiation is basically the component of light from the sun that, that tans and burns your skin. And ultraviolet radiation has been recognized as a carcinogen, which is an agent that directly causes cancer. So after doing research on this topic, I hope to dissuade you from using tanning beds as they can be very hazardous to your health. While indoor tanning is a huge business, PBS tells us that it makes nearly $5 billion a year, the practice of bed tanning can cause serious long-term health risks. Excessive exposure to UV rays and even excessive sunburns can cause serious damage that can lead to skin cancers. And skin cancer is the most prevalent type of cancer, and there are more than 1 million cases of skin cancer diagnosed each year in the United States, according to the Skin Cancer Foundation. There are about 10% of Americans that visit tanning salons annually. So that's about 30 million people who are risking the chance of getting skin cancer just by making a trip to the tanning salon. And 1 in 5 of those Americans will be diagnosed with skin cancer, and about 90% of all the cases are linked to UVR exposure. Additionally, that exposure has led to an increase in the rates of malignant melanoma. Now I might be asking, what is malignant melanoma? Melanoma is the most dangerous type of skin cancer. It only accounts for a small amount of skin cancer, but it's the most dangerous kind. And the rates of people who have melanoma are rising. More than 8,000 people in the United States die every year from melanoma. Luckily, it's easily treatable if it's caught early, but it's very dangerous because it can spread to your other parts of your body very quickly, and that can be potentially fatal. And even your eyes can be damaged by UV rays, and in fact your eyes receive more damage from the tanning bed than your skin does. And your eyes can be damaged from even a short exposure to the sun. And the research has shown that in tanning beds, the UV ray exposure is 100 times greater than the exposure from the sun. Like when you're outside, your eyebrows can help shield some of the sun's rays from your eyes, but when you're in the tanning bed, the rays have almost direct contact with your skin, and the skin on your eyelids is so thin and delicate that closing your eyes or wearing sunglasses in the bed isn't going to help you that much. I mean, it's still recommended that you wear those little eye goggles, but they're not going to help you as much. And you can even get sunburn on your eyes, and it can make your vision blurry. But from long-term exposure from the UV rays, you can get cataracts and macular degeneration later on in your life. So for those of you who don't know, cataracts is basically just when the lens of your eyes becomes cloudy, and obviously that's going to make your vision really difficult. And then macular degeneration is just when your central vision is gradually destroyed over time. So obviously those are going to make activities like reading and watching TV difficult, and in turn that's going to make a lot of your life really difficult. And you can also get cortical melanoma, which is just eye cancer, and eyesmart.org tells us that this is especially dangerous because there isn't any symptoms. Now, skin cancer used to be a disease of only older people, like the elderly and the middle-aged, but now it's becoming more and more common for younger people to be diagnosed with melanoma and other skin cancers. And a lot of researchers believe that this can be linked to the increase in indoor tanning. Melanoma is, in fact, the second most common form of cancer among people aged 15 to 29. So, skin cancer is caused by cumulative UV rays. So the more exposure that you get earlier on in your life, the worse the effects are going to be later on. So more exposure you get when you're younger, the more wrinkly, leathery, walrusy looking skin you're going to have later on in your life. And that's why it's so important that teenagers and younger people aren't exposed to those rays. Because a lot of people don't think, oh, well, I'm just going tanning now, nothing's going to happen to you. Most of the times nothing will happen to you when you're younger, but all the effects are going to happen later on in your life. And a lot of tanning salon owners try to downplay the link between UV rays and skin cancer. Like a lot of times they claim that the UV rays produced by the beds are healthier than the natural sunlight, but this isn't true because, in fact, people who tan indoors are 2.5 times more likely to get skin cancer than those who don't. And using a tanning bed one time can increase your risk of getting melanoma by 75%. And that's why minors shouldn't be allowed to use tanning beds. Their skin is so delicate, and it's important to keep it safe now while you can. So this is why lawmakers should consider prohibiting indoor tanning by minors to protect them from the risk of melanoma and other skin cancers. The American Academy of Dermatology has recommended that the FDA ban indoor tanning due to its negative health risks. And around 20 state legislatures have already passed laws that are intended to help curb indoor tanning. So a lot of those laws are like people 14 and under are not allowed to use tanning beds, and people 14 to 17 are allowed to with parental consent. And on the National Conference of State Legislators website, it says that California, Illinois, Nevada, Texas, and Vermont are currently the only states that have completely prohibited minors from using tanning beds, and I encourage that all the states should follow suit. If all the states would ban the use of tanning beds for those under 18, the rates of people who have melanoma and other skin cancers would significantly decrease because there are so many minors, like they're a big chunk of that statistic that go to the tanning beds, and that would be more people taken out of the statistic and less people possibly dying because of skin cancers. So, I encourage all of you to say no to bed tanning. Now that you know that getting a warm golden tan may not be all it's cracked up to be, maybe if you're feeling a little pasty, next time you can just use some self-tanner or a spray tan to get your nice golden tan. Maybe you'll think twice about laying in a tanning bed that emits harsh and potentially fatal ultraviolet rays. So with so many negative outcomes, will you be skipping the tanning beds?